So I think since the advent of IP cameras, I think IP cameras came into existence in the late 90s. IP cameras really took off, I would say, in the mid 2000s when high definition became the key driver to adopt IP, and Avigilon was at the forefront of high definition video. And in fact, we today have probably the highest single imager megapixel camera, and that's the 7K H4 Pro solution. When you think about the Internet of Things, you have to start first with the intranet of things. And I think IP cameras were really, within the security industry, the intranet of cameras, the intranet of things where the things were actually cameras. Where we're going now, broadly speaking, is where it's not just cameras, but it's all kinds of different sensors that are starting to converge. All these other sensors also being IP-enabled devices. And now we're really going from that intranet of things to internet of things. And I think that is the progression that we're seeing in the industry today. And on top of that, because now there's such a profusion, such a mass amount of sensors that are coming together, it is no longer a situation where you have a human, a security operator that's actively looking at these feeds. It's impossible. The value of more sensors, more integrated platforms just quickly goes away if there's a human who has to make sense of all that data. And that's where analytics comes into play, where analytics can not only extend a human sensory system, but analytics can also extend human intelligence, where by only taking the things that matter, things that are important, and bringing that to the user's attention and saying, focus on this because this is important for your task. And that's why analytics really, after megapixel IP video, is really the thing that is driving the industry going forward, along with the influx of other types of sensors as part of the whole Internet of Things effort. So analytics and IoT, I believe, are the two big drivers in the industry today. One of the things that has historically limited the use of analytics is really the computational capability of both the cameras, the servers, the cost of it, and what is happening right now is a combination of cloud computing plus things like GPUs and such that are gaining in popularity and reducing in cost. It's giving us the capability to take some very powerful machine learning, artificial intelligence algorithms, and now bring it to the masses in terms of a wide variety of sensors. So that's really where we see the effect of cloud computing, the effect of analytics and IoT sort of taking the industry today. So I think there are actually three things that are converging there. There is video, there is access control, and access control, one way of thinking about access control is that it is just like you logging on to a computer. In this case, you're basically getting access to a building. And video as an authentication mechanism or something that verifies the authenticity of your credentials is quite important. And I believe the majority of access control providers out there, including Avigilon, are really pushing for this greater integration between access control itself and video, not just as a supplement, but a key part of the overall access control solution. But between those two things, there's a third piece missing, and that third piece is really IT access control. So that's the physical logical connection. With the advent of people sort of signing in through a door through their credential or through their recognized face, if it's not the same person who logs into their workstation at their desk, that is a cause for alarm. And so that's where the integration is starting to come between physical access control, logical access control, and video surveillance as a whole.